freedom, empty landscapes, just you, your motorcycle and the highway. This is what most people think of when they think about motorcycles, and what a lot of people want to experience at least once in their life. Route 66, Grand Canyon, Hells Angels, you can all find this in the next game that I want to talk about, Full Throttle Remastered. Well, without the Hells Angels then. Because the main character in Full Throttle, called Ben, has his own motorcycle game, the Polecats. When one day he's cruising with his gang, he runs into the CEO of his favorite bike brand. They're hitting it off great, but when the vice president of the company, Mr. Ripburger, asks if his gang wants to escort the CEO to the shareholders meeting as a PR stunt, Ben refuses. "We ain't for hire," he explains. Ripburger has different plans though. He wants to take over the company to make minivans, and when Ben refused, he must be taken care of. Ripburger lets two of his henchmen beat up the biker, put him in a dumpster and throw away the keys to his bike. When Ben awakens, he finds that his crew is gone and he needs to find them. This is just the beginning of the story. Of course, I will not spoil anything more, because this game just thrives on its story. And yeah, the story is pretty good, with some twists, some turns and funny moments. More about that later. But what is Full Throttle Remastered exactly? Well, Full Throttle is an adventure game made by LucasArts in 1995 for PC. I actually remember when it came out, but I couldn't play it. I didn't have the PC that could run it, and well, I didn't speak English. Anyway, this game had a great reputation, as it was a much more modern game than the previous adventure games by LucasArts. But it still had the same kind of humor, plus it had great graphics for the time. Even in this version you can switch to the old style graphics, and yes, they still look great. A little bit pixelated, but well, that seems modern now, isn't it? So, what else? Well, in the gameplay department there is not that much new. You point and click yourself through the adventure. At the time, the way you select your action, with a wheel, was a new thing, but by now it is so normal that I didn't even notice the novelty. What I did notice was that with the right stick you can shortcut to places of interest on the screen. This is great, and it prevents the so-called pixel hunting. Apart from the point and click gameplay, LucasArts tried to mix in some other styles to keep things fresh. There is a relatively lengthy brawler section on the motorcycle, and at some point near the end there's a demolition race. Both sections are clearly not the focus of Full Throttle, but it's a nice change of pace. Not just the gameplay was remastered, also the graphics are modernized. And yeah, Full Throttle Remastered looks great. The graphics are sharp and the colors are crisp. The cartoonish style totally fits the type of humor, although I can understand that it is not everyone's cup of tea. On the other hand, a more realistic look wouldn't have aged very well. This game is still great looking. The sound department is not remastered, but it wasn't that necessary. The soundtrack is actually done by a band that was up and coming at the time, the Jackals. They didn't really make it because I never heard of them before. Anyway, it's pretty good and fitting in the atmosphere of the game. The sounds and the voices are great as well, but the voice is done by professional actors and you can hear this. Especially the voice of Ben is done very well. These voices are not remastered though, since the voice actor who did Ben, Roy Conrad, sadly passed away in 2002. Adventure games usually have the same strong and weak points. The games are weak in the replay department, often have illogical puzzles and are short. Full Throttle apparently knew this and tried to find a solution. The game has a very linear beginning and ending, although the middle part has some choices. You can choose what task you want to do first, and this gives some variety. Also, the changes in gameplay will help. The puzzles are more logical than in most point and clickers, and the new style of interface works great. On the other hand, the game is still quite short, I think about 5 hours. I didn't mind the brief length though, and I think it made the game more modern than some long winding adventures. You can easily finish it in one long trip on the go on the Vita, and this might be the best way to play Full Throttle. The strong points of point and click games, the graphics, the sounds and the story are all outstanding in Full Throttle. As said before, the graphics are beautiful and cartoonish, and the sound is amazing. I don't know any 1995 game that comes close to the presentation of this game. Also, the story is very strong and timeless. Full Throttle Remastered plays as an interactive feature-length cartoon, and this is the strongest point in my opinion. The last thing I wanted to discuss is the purpose of a remastered version here. Full Throttle is remastered to make the game timeless. But is it? Did this game age well? To be honest, I'm not 100% sure. The game played slow, and this never changed. I had a great time, but I can imagine that not everyone can appreciate the gore gameplay. It's just too old-fashioned. The remaster was done competent, but for a price. I found a really annoying bug in the brawling section. When you use the enhanced graphics, you cannot escape this area. The game will freeze in the loading screen. This is really sloppy, especially since this is never fixed and the game came out more than a year ago. It's just a pity. Full Throttle was a true classic, and the remastered version does certainly do justice to modernize this game. Sadly, this genre is a bit outdated as a whole. So I can only recommend this game if you like point and click adventures, or if you want to try this genre. I thought it was a nice and funny experience. Try it and enjoy. So, this was my review of Full Throttle Remastered. It's nice to finally be playing this game, especially since I heard so much about it in my youth. And what do you think about it? And what do you think about remastering these kind of games? Don't hesitate to leave me a comment, and have a great week. Bye bye.